Hi, I want to discuss with you today the advantages and the benefits of automation in an industrial environment. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Jared Ogun. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I've been employed with Dana Corporation, Cypress Technologies, Meritor, and I am currently employed with Baldor, which is part of the ABB group. So when I say automation, what exactly is automation? Well, simply put, automation is the combination of electrical, mechanical, and fluid power systems working in conjunction with each other to create a steady rate of work, not controlled by a human operator. And that's the key, not controlled by a human operator. And of course, the perfect example of this is a robot. But why do we need automation in our industry? Well, I believe there's three key points as to why we need benefits of automation. First being diversity. There are many different brands of robots on the market. And out of these different brands, they all come down to welding, painting, and pick and place. Pick and place being loading and unloading the machine or loading and unloading a conveyor. But not only are they diverse in being able to do different tasks, if your application requires welding a certain part today and then you need a different product produced tomorrow, that same robot can be reprogrammed to do that same part. So they're really diverse in many aspects, is not only the tasks they can perform, but being able to be reprogrammed to perform a different task. Not only are they diverse in the tasks that they can perform, there's different setups or designs, if you will, of robots which allow the movement, like on a gantry line, so a robot can travel and perform those various tasks on a wider range scale. Second off is safety. Well, how are robots safe? Well, typically a robot works in what is called an envelope, and that is the range of motion that the arm of the robot has to work. And they're typically either blocked off by a gate or a cage that has a door, and of course when you pull the door, the robot stops production, so the human operator can't get hurt. Another thing is they have light curtains. So if an operator steps in front of that beam, it automatically shuts the robot off. But another key point to being safe as far as robots are concerned is the fact that they can work in environments that humans aren't capable of working in. Like a welder, for example. If a human is welding 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, the heat and the smoke is going to get to it. Robots are not affected by that. The cold, the hot, they're constantly working. They don't get sick. The environment is not an issue for a robot like it is for a human. Next, we have production. And that's why we're all in business, is to create a good quality part at a reasonable price and make them as fast as we can. And that's exactly what robots do. They're very accurate and precise. They're quick. They don't need breaks. They can work around the clock. You don't have to pay them overtime. You don't have to pay them a salary. They don't get any benefits. They're just there to work. And that is a great advantage in industry, knowing that you can spend $6,000 a year and have an employee to work 24/7. However, there are some disadvantages to robotics in industry, that being there is a high initial cost. The initial cost could be upwards of $250,000 for a single cell to operate on a robot. However, looking at it over the long term, you typically average, say, $1,000 for preventative maintenance on that robot. And like I said earlier, the average cost, depending on, of course, the electrical bill, is typically $6,000 a year. So you're talking $7,000 a year to operate um, basically an employee for 24/7 work, as opposed to a human operator that you would be paying $40,000 a year for, and then still having to pay benefits, sick time, and so forth. Um, but that is a real advantage of a robot as long as you are looking at the long term. Um, in the short term, if the product life, if you're running a product that has a life expectancy of say 10 years, robots might not be the best situation for you. But if you have a core product that you plan on running from now on, in, 10 or more years, uh, the benefits of a robot are numerous. Um, just like I said, the basic facts that you're only paying $7,000 a year after your initial investment for a robot. Next, as far as a disadvantage, would be training. They are, like I said, many different brands of robots on the market. So if you purchase different brands, all their software is proprietary to that particular robot, which means a technician would have to know each and every brand of robot you have to be able to program and work on that robot correctly. Also, as an operator, operators would need extra time to learn the processes of teaching a robot, the positions it needs to go to, and so forth. With all that being said, though, I believe the benefits far outweigh the negatives when it comes to robotics and automation. Uh, just for the simple fact alone that you can get basically an employee working, year round for $7,000. That's pretty much unheard of. And although there is a high initial cost, that money can be recouped fairly quickly. And it basically comes down to the part you're producing, if it's going to be a long-term part or if it's just going to be something that you're running for a few years and then you're not going to make that particular product anymore, then a robot might not be the best solution for you. But long-term, robotics and automation is definitely the way to go. And I think it would be a huge benefit to the manufacturing community that we have here in Burke County to look at investing in more automation and robotics. And in closing, I want to say I appreciate your attention and thank you for listening to me today. And I hope you've learned a little something, and I thank you.